Hey, this is Kenny,
And this is Johnny from Sun Don't Shine,
and
and you're
you're
watching
watching the This Is Metal show.
Metal all the way, guys.
Metal.
I've interviewed Johnny once before. I'm, of course, Jason J. Rock Houston. Like the guy said, you're watching the This Is Metal show. We got with my wonderful co-host, Tom Collier. He's the principal songwriter, founding member of the Held Hostage. We got Lethal X, our other co-host, and he's the one that edits all the shows and puts it together up on the site. So everybody's here. The gang's all here. I guess we'll start with you, Johnny, since you're on the screen. Tell us how, obviously, you and Kenny previously played together in Typo Negative, as many people know. So talk about how the Sun Don't Shine came together and how this new project came to be.
This really was put together by Andrew Spalding. He's starting a label, Corpse Paint Records, and he had been mentioning it. I know he's been mentioning it to Kenny and I he had been talking about it for a long time about wanting to put the two of us in a room with Kirk and Todd.
For years. Even the Kirky's been talking about it for
Yeah,
years.
they've been talking about it for years, and then I guess at this point, what, like a year and a half ago, maybe
Two
even
So,
years,
two years.
2 years ago. Yeah.
Yeah, 2 years
yeah.
ago, we Drew made it happen. He put us in a room together.
So let me ask you guys. Obviously, you have
That
a
was
history
it.
together. So, what was this? How was this thing different from when you played together in Typo Negative? Obviously, other band members, but I mean, you obviously had that chemistry together, playing together.
It was kind of like just really like literally like it sounds, throwing guys in a room. So like, I mean, I remember texting a few riff ideas to Kirk like the day before I got on the plane to
Oh
meet
wow!
with these guys in Florida. And then we all just got into a rehearsal studio and threw some ideas on the table.
Oh wow!
And literally less than 48 hours later, we were leaving the studio with a finished song. So it was pretty,
I,
like
I was the I
really
was
quick.
yeah, I was the last to hear about it. I had no idea what they were doing.
Oh
Drew
wow!
picked me up from the airport and drove me to the rehearsal studio, and then we started working on the song there. The other three were in the room already.
Oh wow!
They had been working on some stuff, working on ideas, and then they just started throwing stuff at me, and then we put it together. The next day, the drum tracks were done, and I was on a plane going somewhere.
Oh wow! Wow! So Tom, I'm going to throw it to you. You must have some questions for the guys.
Sure, absolutely. So I listened to three of your songs on there, but one that really stuck out to me, which was I thought was so cool, was Cryptomnesia. Is that how you say it?
Cryptomnesia, nobody could say it right. It's
Yeah.
like,
I
it's like,
don't
it's
worry,
like,
you're not
listen,
alone. I can't say it either.
it's simple. It's simple. It's like amnesia with crypto
With
put
crypto.
in front of it.
Yeah.
Perfect,
There's
perfect.
nothing simple about that at all. Nothing
What,
simple.
what what I loved about that is it reminded me of what Black Sabbath should have wrote this year, something new. I don't know. I just felt some Sabbath in there, a little bit of influence from Sabbath. I don't know if that's what was part of it, but I just
There's a
heard
lot of
that in it.
Sabbath in it. Yeah,
Yeah, it just had
absolutely.
that cool eeriness to it. I love Sabbath, the old Sabbath. I can listen
Hmm.
to them all day. So, but that who
I, I've
wrote that?
said this. I've said this in other interviews, man. All roads lead to Black Sabbath.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
It
Especially
really
for
So
does.
me.
Yeah, it's we're not like, no matter what I do, no matter who I play with, or like with Kenny or Kirk or whoever, it's always going to be like in that. It's going to go down that path.
yeah.
Hmm.
So what was the inspiration for that song? I'm just curious about it. It was just so cool. I loved it.
Um, I think that that was I think Drew again flew us into New Orleans. This was like the second bout of songs that we went that he got us together for. 'Cause like we did the first song, right?
Yeah. Right.
That we explained in Florida, and that went really well. This wasn't supposed to be a band or anything. We were just going to do a one-off song together, and then it turned out so well that we decided on meeting together again and getting another group of songs together. And I think I came up with that first initial riff for Cryptonesia. He flew us in. I ended up arriving in the condo we were staying at in the French Quarter, and Drew had this like shitty Yamaha acoustic guitar, and I drop tuned the low E to a D,
Right.
and boom, down, 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 down came in. You
Love
know what I
it.
mean? So, and it
Yep.
just all grew off of that one riff, like any other song.
Yeah.
So that was another thing. So, like, I think me and Kirk were working on the body of that song, and Johnny had not flown in yet. You know, he's always the late comer and the early leaver. So he just like came in one evening. We had like pretty much the song plotted out, and he's like sat down. So let me hear what you got. So and dropped it on him.
Let me
Save the
hear.
best for last, right, Johnny? Yeah.
Well, really, the way that it worked, we had gotten together 2 times after we did the first song. After we did "Dreams Always Die with the Sun," we would get together, and we would stay in like New Orleans for maybe a week.
Yeah.
And usually for me it was shorter because it was in between Quiet Riot gigs and stuff. And we would get to the studio in the morning. Kenny and Kirk would have ideas, and we would pick something and work on that for the day.
Oh wow!
And then by the afternoon we would track the drums. So at least we had the drum track.
Yeah.
And then the guys could do their other stuff later on. But we were working like that, and we did that. We would do a song a day.
Oh wow! How about you, Lethal Lex? You have any questions for the guys?
Yeah, I was checking out a few of the songs too, and the Promise song kind of stuck out with me too. And I was thinking to myself, Soundgarden-ish a little bit. It's kind of, but a little bit darker than that. So who wrote that song? Was it you again, Johnny, or was it?
That was like me and Johnny. That was like, I think we had about three songs down. That was like the third time we got together. And I had like a series of riffs, which would end up being the Promise song. And I remember I was sitting in the control room and Johnny was playing live. We had headphones on and I showed him, we just like chained these riffs together without knowing how it was going to come out, what the vocal was going to be like or anything.
Yeah.
And that's how it came about. I ended up with those tracks, with just raw tracks of my guitar and Johnny's drums back in Brooklyn in my own studio in Staten Island about a week later. And I pieced the song together in my studio.
Oh,
And
wow.
laid the vocals down. And then, I gave what I had worked on back to Dwayne at OCD Recording and Kirk. And then Kirk laid down his tracks. And they totally transformed the bridge into what they wanted it, So it was kind of a back and forth thing between Staten Island and New Orleans for like a month.
Oh, wow.
To create that song. So basically the root of the song was done in the studio before Johnny had a split. And it was just a scratch guitar track and drums. And then it was built into that later on between the two studios.
That's how beautiful the technology is. Wow.
I have no recollection of any of this.
Yeah, well, we're just throwing a huge amount of riffs at him, and he doesn't even know. We don't even know what the song's going to be like in the end. It was just kind of like a rude idea of how it's going to go, and just like flying by instinct, And then, with a lot of these songs, well, with a good amount of these songs, I'd end up back in my studio with all these riff ideas and drums, and I'd have to make sense of it.
Oh, that's really
a weird way to write. A weird way to write. I'd rather not write it like that. Not all the songs are written like that. Dreams Always Die were written actually in the studio and finished. That was finished in the studio. And Kryptonesia was like maybe 70 or 75% finished in the studio. And I had to finish the rest off at home.
Wow, Kryptonesia too, I think, like Tom was saying, what a tongue twister. People are going to be talking about that song because it's a great sounding song, because of the name. Talking about names, that's one of the hardest things a band does is come up with the name. And I heard you guys had to change the name, I think, like 2 different times. Talk a little bit about that.
Well, when we first got together, like I said, it was not really an intention to ever become a band. It was just about, let's get these guys in the room, maybe something cool will happen. And Andrew Spalding, our friend who was the kingpin that got it all together, he suggested the name I Am. And, it wasn't really a serious band at the time. So we were like, okay, well, we'll go with the name I Am, not knowing that there was already like 2 or 3 bands with that name. There was already a metal band with the name I Am, as an I, like as a me.
Yeah.
From Dallas, I think. And what was crazy is, I was like, after we used the name, we announced the name, I saw this video, this metal band I Am from Dallas. I'm looking at this band, dude. And the singer in the video is wearing a Bloody Kisses shirt. We're using his band's name. It's like, this is like, And then there was a rap artist too they actually spelled it the same way that we did on Spotify. He had released a whole full length record, had no fan base or no
Wow.
listens really,
Yeah.
and also trademarked the name.
Wow.
I Am. So, it was just a matter of if we wanted to move forward as an actual band, we're going to have to come up with a new name.
Yeah, you can't make this stuff up. And yeah, I don't know.
And
if you guys know,
there was also a discussion between the bunch of us. We were talking about the name, and all of us agreed we didn't like it.
And in fact, it was like we just couldn't get motivated to do anything about it.
It was like, like a group text, and it was
Yeah.
oh, I don't like the name. I don't like the name either. Neither do I. Let's change it.
So who came up with
aside from all the other stuff, but all the other stuff, like with the other artists.
who came up with Sun Don't
using
Shine?
name.
That's a cool name. I thought
Was that Kenny or Todd?
It was me. That one was me. I put a bunch of names down as suggestions, and Kirk really loved Sun Don't Shine because it reminded me. It was just like the first lyric of Bridge of Sighs from Robin Trower or something. So that's what I was trying to. Oh, I like that name. That's it.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, I got it from Sabbath. We're living easy where the sun doesn't shine. That's where I got it from. So it's just like a
Sabbath influence.
Was not my hill to die on. I don't care what it's called. It doesn't really matter. At the end of the day, it's just something to identify a group of people.
Yeah, I was just laughing when I heard the story, Johnny, because like I said, it's one of the hardest things I know is to come up with a band name. And it's like, wait a minute, we've come up with two names and they're both taken. It's kind of like, hey, that's a sign, somebody's trying to tell us something.
Oh, no, that's this day and age is terrible to come up with a name because there's an asshole in every country that has some name that he's already put on Spotify with two listeners. So you really got to work hard to find a name that is not taken today, that doesn't have a spot taken on Apple Music or Spotify, or somebody didn't trademark, or So there's so many people out there.
We lost him. He's had enough.
Johnny,
he's had enough. But anyway, I know for me, it's never really that important. There isn't. At the end of the day, if the band becomes better known, it'll just be an identifying marker of, that's those guys.
Yeah. I don't know if you guys.
I mean, think about so many bands that we've grown up listening to, and if you really analyze the names of these bands, a lot of them are pretty bad.
Yeah.
There were some that were clever. There was some that whatever may have some kind of significance or whatever, but usually they're pretty dopey.
Yeah. I don't know if you guys are aware, Johnny is also, as he said, the drummer in Quiet Riot these days. And he was handpicked by the late, great Frankie Banali to replace him. Talk a little bit about that, Johnny, and what you guys are currently doing.
Right now, we're on a little bit of a break.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Kenny sent me a text saying he's requesting to get back in.
Oh, sure. Okay, let me see if I can get him in. Okay, there we go. Okay.
But the whole thing started with Quiet Riot. I mean, it started innocently enough. While Frankie was sick,
sure.
He had Quiet Riot had a show coming up in Dallas where I live, and so I was just offering to help. I was telling Alex. I played with Alex in this cover band called Hookers and Blow. See, now that's a cool name for a band. Greatest name ever. Anything after that doesn't matter.
It's not so cool. It's not so cool if you had problems with that in your past. Then it's not a cool name anymore.
Yeah.
Well, it's not cool when we're trying to play casinos. They won't advertise it as Hookers and Blow.
Yeah.
Then it becomes Dizzy Reed's All-Star Band.
There you go. Okay.
But what had happened was, so I've been playing with Alex and Hookers and Blow for years, and I saw that Quiet Riot was coming to play in Dallas, and I just innocently offered, saying, when you guys are here, I know Frankie's, I know Frankie's going in for, treatments and stuff. He's not going to have a lot of energy. Do you want me to come and help him out, help him set up, keep an eye on him, whatever, just so they had his energy for the show. I was like, I'm going to be there hanging out anyway. You want me to help out?
Wow.
And Frankie thought it was a good idea. He was like, yeah, sure, absolutely, thanks. And then I just offered to Alex. I was like, look, if there's a situation that comes up, and Frankie can't do a show, if you want me to do it, I'll do it.
Wow.
I'll help out.
Wow.
Not expecting ever to wind up in a position, And then 2 days before that Dallas show, Alex called me. He was like, "We need you to do the show."
Wow.
And I was like, "Oh,
okay."
I was just trying to be nice.
Of course, yeah. You never thought.
I didn't think they were going to call me on it.
Wow.
And I was, it was 2 days before the show. I was like, send me a set list. And growing up, I knew a couple of Quiet Riot songs, but I didn't know their whole set or anything.
Yeah.
And I just started going on YouTube to see how they did the songs live.
Yeah.
Try to remember how they started and how they ended. Anything in between, I could fudge my way through. I could.
You knew the same. You knew the same two Quiet Riot songs that everybody else
knew.
Right? Yeah. That's it. So like I get to the venue and it winds up, it's like this big festival. And there's literally thousands of people there. I walk into the trailer. I really don't even know the other guys in the band. I just walk into the trailer and I'm like, guys, this was a terrible idea. Everybody turned white. What are you talking about? Yeah. And anyway, we survived the show. We got through the show. There wasn't any real major train wrecks or anything like that. And I did the show. It was like, all right, whatever, good luck, see you. And then they called me again. Are you available for this show? Are you available for this? Are you available for this? And then it wound up, can you be available for the rest of the year?
Wow, yeah.
And I had another tour coming up with another band, and I was like, I said, I have these 2 weeks. I said, everything's booked, confirmed, advertised. I said, I can't get out of it. Yeah. I got to do that. I said, otherwise, I'm open for the rest of the year. And then the following year, when Frankie now like into 2020, Frankie's it's coming, it's getting towards the end, and he started sorting things out, what he wanted, what he wanted to see the band doing after he was gone.
Sure.
And then he was like, call Kelly. And he was like, I want Kelly to do it.
Wow, that had to have been
that was it.
Like, yeah, he handpicked you.
It's a shitty way to get a gig.
But I mean, it's kind of cool in a way that thumbs up, that the man you're replacing, because it could have gone the other way. The fans have been very accepting of you, Yeah.
Yeah, it's been cool that way. I mean, there's some fans that think I'm Frankie, but we won't get into that. Yeah. There's some of them that are still asking, hey, where's Kevin?
Yeah. Hey, so Tom, you have anything else you want to ask the guys?
Absolutely. So
I'm not exaggerating.
I believe it. Yeah.
I actually think I did the show in Syracuse with Quiet Riot. I was the direct support act, and I think he drummed for him because Frankie was sick that night. Frankie was supposed to play, and he got sick. But yeah, usually anything comes from New York, we always jump on with him as direct support. But
yeah, he wasn't there.
No, he wasn't, definitely.
No.
So you guys, is this going to go into a full-length album? Are you guys planning on doing a full-length album? I've heard 3 songs. Are there going to be more?
Yes, we have 7 recorded so far totally, and we're going to be meeting, it looks like in June for a month to get another 3 or 4 and then do a full length release at the end of September, beginning of October. That's the plan.
Nice. You got who you releasing it through? You guys going to do self-release? You got a label?
Well, we have our buddy Andrew Spalding, who's running Corpse Paint Records, and I think Revolve is going to do an American release for vinyl.
Nice.
Like that there's been a lot of conversations about that, about what to do and how to do it, like, in this day and age, and like, is it practical to, like, do a full-length record, do an EP, or just release singles, or who knows.
Yeah.
But it seems like now that's what we're going towards. We're going to wind up doing a full length.
Yeah.
And once the album comes out, do you guys give any thought to doing live shows, or are you going to wait and see how the album does?
I mean, we'd love to. I mean, these guys, everyone's very busy,
Oh, there you go.
If we can get an opening and a space in there to do it, it'd be awesome. Yes. And I mean, so far, everything we've released has been very well received. So I guess, if the album is well received, we'll definitely be doing something.
Yeah. Lethal X? Yeah.
Oh yeah.
This day and age, it's really hard to get a band off the ground. And like,
Sure.
you can't just like you don't just put out a record and just, oh yeah, we're going on the road.
I mean,
Yeah.
it helps too when you
With
got a
what?
couple.
Magic beans?
Yeah,
Mm.
it does help when you
Yeah, I
got
mean,
some
that's
named guys. Do you
Although-
consider us a super group?
I mean, and
that?
we're not even really a band yet. So,
Yeah.
I'm hoping, if the offers are there and it's doable, we'll do it. Absolutely.
Yeah, that's
Rock and
kind of
roll.
where I was gonna go, is that with the way the music industry is now, it's like it's really tough anymore to kind of get yourself going because everybody's like Spotify, and those types of things. But yeah, I think it would be
Spotify,
really
it's
cool.
like there's only one person that makes money on Spotify.
Mhm.
Spotify.
I know, and
One.
it's not the band.
Yeah.
Right.
Well,
So I
that's
mean,
why I watch that.
it's great. It's great. Like if you say, oh yeah, like we have whatever X amount, X amount of thousands of listeners or whatever. It
That's
means
it. It's
literally
promotional.
at the end of the day, it means nothing. It's all hype. It's like selling
Well,
air.
yeah, it's what the promoters look at, though. So
Mhm.
it does
I know.
mean
I don't
something.
get
If you
it.
can get the numbers up, it means something.
Yeah.
It
Yeah, I
doesn't
think
mean
it'd
that
be
you can
kind of
get your
cool to do
band
like
to that
a
promoter's venue.
Yes, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
it was always difficult to get a band off the road, off
Yeah.
the ground. Always, it's just difficult in a whole different way now. There's a lot
And
of technology involved.
us being dinosaurs really doesn't help either because we're used to a certain way, doing things a certain way. No, it's true. We're used to doing things a
Yeah,
certain way,
yeah,
and to be able to, like it's harder for us to adapt.
yeah. All of us, so me, Kirk, Todd, and Johnny. So yeah,
And we're not 23 years old where we'll just, jump in a minivan and,
Yeah.
go out for a month and a half and come home with $8.
Yeah.
yeah,
It doesn't work like that anymore.
yeah.
I mean, all the
Can't do
free
that.
booze doesn't work for you anymore.
No,
I don't drink anymore.
Yeah.
it's even hard to get the free booze.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah.
Like I said, we already got decent offers for Europe. So I'm hoping that because of the members of the band and the histories we have, that we'll get a little head start. But we'll see.
Yeah.
Right now, my focus with this is to have to come up with great songs. I mean, the whole experience of getting together with them is great.
Yeah,
And to do it to get together in New Orleans and hang out for a week in New Orleans and make music all day and then get together and we all go out for dinner at the end of the night. The whole experience is great.
Yeah, the music is always first.
And the end result, of that is getting music that we love doing, that we love making.
That's the main objective, to have a great record.
Sure,
whatever. If you have that, I mean, it was always, even back in 1965. That's the main objective. If you have a great record, things will happen.
Yeah.
Just look at the Beatles, right?
Yeah. I mean, being that this is a new band, is that one thing that you guys enjoy about it? Is that there's no set expectations? Like you're creating your sound, you're finding your sound, because this is the first music you guys are creating together.
Yeah, we're not pigeonholed into anything. You're right. Yeah, the horizon is pretty broad right now, sonically.
That's pretty cool. Yeah.
And the whole the way that we work together, where it's coming up with a song a day.
Yeah,
there's a lot. You don't really have too much time to overthink something, so it's very raw and honest, and and its approach is simple, and I like the spontaneity of it.
So do I.
That's something that you have a couple of hours to come up with something cool.
That's something like none of us are used to.
That's what Drew did to us. With Dreams Always Die with the Sun. It was like, put us in the room, shut the door. You have a couple hours, figure it out. Don't come out until you're done. Which was, and it was cool.
It's a cool way to work. It is. It's terrifying at the same time, but if you have some faith in yourself and the guys you're working with, you'll come out with something that's not a disaster. Yeah.
Best thing I can tell you guys, in listening to the music last night, prepping for today's show that we're doing, I was listening to it for the first time. I'm thinking, oftentimes you listen to some for the first time, and you're like, who do these guys remind? Like Tom said, there's a little bit of a Sabbath vibe, but you really kind of got your own sound going. It doesn't sound like trying to be all like all your heroes. that comes out a little bit, but you got your own sound, and I think you're moving in a great direction there.
Thank you.
Thanks. Yeah, I think it's different, especially for a lot of the stuff that Kenny and I have been a part of for years. It's a little different, you know, stretching a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, which is cool.
Mm.
You know, it's cool doing something, you know, a little different instead of just going in there and doing, you know, providing what's expected of you, what you would, you know, and which was I was surprised the most, I think, out of most people, because when you look on paper, you have guys from Typo Negative and guys from Crowbar and down.
Sure.
On paper, you would expect it to be like the heaviest, sludgiest, dirtiest thing ever.
Yeah.
And it's not the case.
Yeah, it's not the case. There is that element in there. There is some element in there, but and maybe in the next 3-4 songs it'll come out more. But
right, you can tell the ingredients are in there.
Yeah.
But the the end result of it is something completely different. And there's a lot more melody and stuff. There's more hooks in the songs than I expected. You know. Which was it was a surprise. I was completely caught by surprise.
I think we also didn't want to do just what everyone expected.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
There's some.
I mean,
I do still have some.
I was expecting it.
I still got some rebellious nature in me. I cannot stand delivering what people want me to deliver. You know, even though probably sometimes I should. But I think
it was a pleasant surprise. Something
we got more of a journey to go,
which was cool.
We have more of a journey to go, so we got 3 or 4 more songs to define the rest of this first record. So
yeah. Before we wrap it up for today, guys, let me ask you, Tom, as a riff master yourself, what did you think of Kenny's riff? Throughout the different songs.
Well, here's what I liked about everything. All 3 songs sound different. They had their own identity.
Yeah.
You know, when I write a song, I never try to write the same thing. And I like that about that. That's why I was curious. Putting these together in an hour or in a day is unbelievable. I have a real problem with, I'm getting ready to go and record another album. I rewrite my fucking album every time before I go in there. Last Great American Rock, I mean, I sold thousands and thousands of copies. The day before, the guys, I drove nuts. I said, I'm sending you guys all new tapes. We're booked the studio. We're doing all new songs. They're like, I threw out every song. I'm just crazy like that. I'm getting ready to do the same thing.
Oh, I would be too if I had the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Thursday
there's no time for that. And
there's no time for that, though. See, but if you were thrown into a room with these guys and said, "That's it, yeah, this is the time you got. That's it," and there was no other choice.
Yep, absolutely. But
don't come out until you're done.
Yeah,
I think that's the coolest thing ever. I might do that Thursday with the guys who are in the studio. Just say, all right, we're going to do songs right now. We're going to get 5 songs. We're going to knock them out today.
Mm-hmm.
I love that idea. And I think you guys got something special. I really do. I think there's more to this band because what I expected from Typo Negative, this was not what I expected to hear with you guys. And from Crowbar and stuff, I was pleasantly surprised. And like I say, the cryptomagnesia.
It's not milk of magnesia, man. It's not milk of magnesia. Cryptomnesia.
Oh, what a cool tune, though. But we're really glad you guys came on. Leaf, you got anything else? We got a couple minutes left before we go.
No, I was just taking it in. I've been listening to every band you guys ever have been in. I've actually listened to over the years, so it's kind of an honor to actually meet some of the guys that actually were in those bands.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. It's an honor to be here.
Yeah.
Okay. I got one final question for you guys. Johnny, since we got you on screen, why don't you tell us who are your drum heroes growing up, and Kenny, who are your guitar heroes?
Mine was John Bonham, Bill Ward.
There you go.
And then there was a whole bunch of other stuff sprinkled in there. I mean, it's all over the spectrum. I mean, you could go to like Les Binks, Clive Burr, Rat Skates from Overkill. There's all kinds of stuff. Like Tommy Lee, Tommy Aldridge, Cozy Powell.
There you go.
But the main 2 were definitely John Bonham, Bill Ward, and Phil Rudd.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
Jimmy Page, Ace Frehley, David Gilmour, Glenn Tipton.
Wow.
Those are the 4 biggest. especially
Wow.
Gilmore.
You guys, it was honor having you on our show. Like I said, this is going to go up next Tuesday. I'll send the link to Jamie. Jamie, thanks for setting this up. You're wonderful as usual. And
Is Jamie still here? I see her little icon thing.
she likes to hide out, but yeah, she's there.
Here she is.
I love it. I love it hearing these guys talking to my other friends. So
She's keeping us all in line.
Yeah, let me tell you, Jamie, you got a great band. These guys, they're onto something special, I think.
I've known these guys since the late 90s. So
There you go.
What was really spectacular was her and Peter together. That was something. That was something to watch.
We'll save that for another day, huh, Jamie?
Peter
Well,
tortured
guys,
me.
Peter tortured her, but
Thank you.
she used to keep Peter in line.
Made him
There you
work.
go.
She'd go right up to him, get right in his face.
All right.
She'd get right in his face.
Johnny was the first person I met when I accepted the job at Roadrunner.
Oh, wow.
And he was standing on Drain STH's bus. And I said to him, I'm your new publicist. And he said, how awful for you.
Oh, wow.
It was at a Machine Head show at CBGB's.
Oh my God, I remember that. Yeah. Holy shit. That's when we first met?
That was the first time I ever met you.
Oh my God. Wow.
Bringing back memories on the This Is Metal show.
All right, now here's another part of that story. The guy that was driving their bus was one of the guys in the fight at the bar in Phoenix after the riot.
Oh, really?
Oh.
Yes.
Which guy was that?
On the losing side.
Was he driving for that too?
Yes, he was driving.
He was a bus driver? Oh.
Wow.
I remember him coming up to me. He was like, "Hey, remember that night?" You know, it's like, "Oh yeah." What's up?
Those are the wild days, guys.
Bring out the
We were
laughs.
pirates. We were pirates. We drank and we fought. That's what we did.
All in the name of metal.
Yeah, Vikings. Yeah.
Okay, guys. We got time to wrap it up. Thanks
Thank you
again.
guys so much, man.
Great
Thank you
talking to
guys
you.
so
Thank
much.
you.
Thank you. Thank you for having
Thanks,
us.
everybody.
Yeah, we love
Thank
having
you for
you.
having us.
Bye-bye.
See you guys
Bye,
later.
Jamie.
Bye.